most scuffed version so far. I wanted to do a book review video, so I wanted to sit in front of my bookcase, but spoiler alert, I'm sitting on the ground right now, and my setup is, so I have a chair, a steel chair right here, with a microphone on top of it. I have a ring light sitting next to it, which normally I put my phone into the ring light's little case place, and I have my laptop over there. But hey, at least you can see my bookcase now, and you can also see me because the light, like, look at the lighting. And also you can see my Legend of Zelda poster. This is my Legend of Zelda poster. So you can see my my tarot card. You can see my tarot cards and my GameCube controller, and you can see, what's that? Electra, which is a Greek mythology book. And beneath it you can see the Cursed Child and all the Harry Potter books. And over on the other side there, no, that's Lord of the Rings. And also I have Game of Thrones over big behind me over here. And I have some poetry books over there. And I have, what else do I have? More mythology books here. My Nintendo Switch games. I have a Harry Potter wand. And I also have some Thanksgiving, no, not Thanksgiving, thanks a lot card, like birthday cards and Christmas cards and stuff. But hey, we're here today for a sort of book review kind of deal. Just if you like my content, I kind of can figure out what kind of person you are. So I'm pretty sure you will enjoy these books. So the first one I'm going to talk about is The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune, which came out in 2020, I believe. That would be okay if it, I think that's correct. Yeah, I'll just beforehand. This is what I think. This is as like not a series, but just a standalone book. This is my favorite book ever. I love this book so much, and I'm currently reading Under the Whispering Door, which is also by the same author. But yeah, this book is very, very good. I'll read the back side of it for you. He expected nothing, but they gave him everything. Linus Baker leads a quiet life. At 40, he has a tiny house with a devious cat and his beloved records for company. And at the department in charge of magical youth, he spent many dull years monitoring their orphanages. Then one day, Linus is summoned by extremely upper management and given a highly classified assignment. He must travel to an orphanage where 6 dangerous children reside, including the Antichrist. There, Linus must somehow determine if they could bring the end of days. But their guardian, charming and enigmatic Arthur Parnassus, will do anything to protect his wards. As Arthur and Linus grow ever closer, Linus must choose between duty and his dreams. And I swear to you, this is the cutest book ever. So it's the writing style is so charming. All the characters are so charismatic. They're so funny. They're also very sweet, lovable. Even though some can be they're supposed to be annoying, but in a good way, you know. Yeah, they aren't annoying at all, and it's just, I swear to you, this is one of the greatest books ever. Also, if you're queer, this book is for you. It's a very queer book, so I love it. Yeah, what else can I say without spoiling anything? The scenery, like the described scenery, I really enjoy it. All the scenes are well made. The comedy is phenomenal. The book is so funny. I remember like one of the first scenes, something happens and there's just like a one-off character who just has a conversation with the main character, and I'm like, I had to like make a mental note for like, okay, this is one of the funniest books I've ever read. So yeah, I love it so much, and it's very inspiring as well, because I've always had a dream of maybe writing children's books someday. So I'll definitely keep this one in mind for inspiration. So yeah. Next up, I have Circe by Madeline Miller. Circe by Madeline Miller. I only just discovered it's pronounced Circe, like the Game of Thrones character, because I thought it was Circe or Circe or something. I don't know. Whatever, king. So yeah, it's Circe apparently, and it's a Greek mythology book. A Greek mythology book. It's by the same author as the Song of Achilles. Song of Achilles, which is also a great book. It's also a great book. I do think Circe is better than Song of Achilles, because Song of Achilles is too literal. So it's just the story romanticized, whereas Circe is based on only like Circe, the character, is very small in mythology, only mentioned a few times, and yet only these lines are used, and just the whole story has been kind of made up. So it uses parts of the Odyssey, the story of Jason, the Argonauts, the story of Theseus and the Minotaur. So it's just a bunch of important Greek mythology stories combined into the story of Circe. And what I really dislike about mythology and books based on the mythology is the fact that you only have the material to work with, the ancient material. And spoiler, they weren't very into like women and gay people and people of whatever cool progressive stuff. So if you wanted to write a traditional story about a cool woman, tough luck, buddy. And yet still the author made most of this stuff up and still created a very enjoyable story, where a lot of stuff happens, and it even changed my mind on a lot of the mythology stuff, because like if you read Jason and the Argonauts, or you hear the story or whatever, you're like, wow, he's a prick, and then you read Circe and you might have a different opinion, even though he's probably still prick. But I do enjoy how it's all written. How it's very. I'll read the backside. In the house of Helios, god of the sun and mightiest of the Titans, a daughter is born. Circe is strange, not powerful and terrible like her father, nor gorgeous and mercenary like her mother, but she has a dark power of her own. Witchcraft, which like every astrology girl practices as well. So you're all a bit like Circe. This is the book for you. When Circe's gift threatens the gods, she is banished to the island of Aiaia, where she hones her occult craft, casting spells, gathering strange herbs, and taming wild beasts. Yet a woman who stands alone cannot live in peace for long, and among her island's guests is an unexpected visitor, the mortal Odysseus, for whom Circe will risk everything. It's Odysseus from the Odyssey. Wayo, Infinity War. This is just the Infinity War crossover. This is just all the mythology heroes in one story. Wayo. Very cool, 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 very cool. So yeah, if you're into mythology, definitely read Circe. It's the other story, House in Cerulean Sea, is like very cute, simple to read, easy to understand. Circe is more poetic and very descriptive, which I personally really enjoy. I really hope Madeline Miller brings out more books, because they are so great. I also have here Galatea, which is a short story written by Madeline Miller. Short story written by Madeline Miller. Very short, very. Look how cute this book is. But yeah, it's a shame. There's only like a few books, only Song of Achilles, Circe, and this small thing, because I love all the mythology stuff from her. Alright, next up I have She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan. Yeah, I knew that. This is kind of like this. It reads very similar to Madeline Miller's books. Very descriptive, likable characters. Very into like emotional descriptions. But this story is based on a real story. So it's about a girl who is born into a very poor family, where there's a prophecy that her younger brother or her brother would become great. And then the brother dies, and she's like, "Hey, I don't have a future, so let me just steal yours." And yeah, it's this whole story of the. I won't spoil. I want to talk about the actual historical thingy that happens, which is technically a spoiler because there probably will be a part 2 of this. So I can't say anything, but it's based on a true story. I'll read the backside. Sorry. No, just I need some better lighting because the book is quite orangey red, so I can't read the backside. In a famine-stricken village, a seer shows 2 children their futures. For the boy, there's greatness. For the girl, nothingness. But China, in 1345, lies under harsh Mongol rule, and the other villagers can't imagine how the boy, Zhu Chongba, might find success. And indeed, when bandits seize the village, Zhu Chongba dies. Desperate to survive, the girl steals her brother's identity to enter a monastery. There, Zhu learns to be ruthless to avoid her fated death. But when her sanctuary is destroyed by war, Zhu is cast back into the world. To stay alive, she must claim her brother's great destiny as her own, and rise as high as she can dream. Rise as high as she can dream. Someone recommended this to me a while back, and they were so happy when I told them I've read it, because it's such a great book. Please, just give it a chance. Give it a chance. Give it a chance. It's kind of mythology-like, but in ancient China. So you learn about a lot of stuff about tradition. It's different. There's themes of love, themes of betrayal, themes of war, fighting, cool stuff. And there's multiple perspectives, even though there is a main character. Yeah, it's so good. It also feels a bit like Game of Thrones-esque, if that makes sense, where like, yeah, a lot of stuff happens. I'm not very good at describing this stuff because I'm autistic as hell, so I kind of just want to tell you everything, including spoilers, which I am not allowed to because this video is called Without Spoilers. So this is very hard for me because I want to tell you everything, but I can't. So I'm not very good at determining which stuff I can and can't say. So my best friend is also really into reading and movies and stuff, but completely different movies. So she never watches or reads the books I would read. So I can tell her everything, which I very much enjoy. I tell her everything, including the spoilers and the weird endings and stuff. Recently I read a book. It was called... Oh, I won't say the title, so it doesn't count as a spoiler. But it ended up basically being like... There was a single foreigner who was very suspicious. And then the whole thing was, oh no, the foreigners aren't bad. Like, we can all be bad and we can all be good as well. But in the end, the foreigner was the villain. And they burned, it was a child, and they burned the child to death. And it was, and then like they were, oh, what a horrible guy. I don't like foreigners. And then the main guy says, no, he was just horrible, not because he was foreign. So, no to racism, but yes to burning children. They even like oh, it was such. I really want to talk about this book because it's a weird story, and the book was written by a video game maker or someone who's, I don't know what his thing was exactly, but it was such a weird story. I was like, bro, this isn't why. Also, my bracelet is falling off, but like it was such a weird story. Oh, and also it was a fantasy world where the main religion was Catholicism. Bro, why? Alright, next book. Let's do this one, which really surprised me. This is called The Seven Husbands of Evelyn. by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This was given to me by someone who was very special to me. I don't really talk with that person anymore, but they gave me this book, and they put a quote inside for me, which I will read for you. This is a quote from the book. You do not know how fast you have been running, how hard you have been working, how truly exhausted you are, until someone stays behind you and says, "It's okay, you can fall down now. I'll catch you. I'll catch you." I'll put the quote back because I don't want to lose it. So this is a story about I'll read the backside first. Reclusive Hollywood icon Evelyn Hugo is finally ready to tell the truth about her glamorous and scandalous life. But when she chooses unknown magazine reporter Monique Grant to write her story, no one is more astounded than Monique herself. From making her way to Los Angeles in the 1950s, to leaving show business in the 80s, and of course the 7 husbands along the way, Evelyn unspools a tale of ruthless ambition, unexpected friendship, and a great forbidden love. But as Evelyn's story nears its conclusion, it becomes clear that her life intersects with Monique's own in tragic and irreversible ways. So this story is... when they gave this book to me, I expected it to not like it, because when you read the backside, it feels very like Hollywood drama, Kim Kardashian-esque story, which I am not interested in. I don't like Hollywood, I don't like celebrities, I don't like all that stuff. And then I started reading, and it's very much about a woman who lives a very hard life, decides to, no, I want to become big, I want to grow, become important, become rich, become famous. So she becomes like an actress, goes to Hollywood, becomes famous, has a bunch of stuff that happens, and it really gives you, it's kind of like the Barbie movie right now, where on the surface it looks very like simple and pointless, and then you actually experience the story and like, okay, it actually has a message. There's actually stuff going on. There's actually stuff going on, which I'm very thankful for, because I love this book so much. Yeah, it's amazing. So please give it a chance. Please give it a chance. Please give it a chance. All right. One more. We have one more book. Until I finish it wrap it up. This is a book by a Japanese author. It's called Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. Sorry. This is the most comfy book I've ever read. This is the most comfy book I've ever read. It's about a small coffee shop, coffee bar, coffee place where you get coffee. Coffee cafe, just a cafe, I guess. I don't know. It's just a cafe, and it's very cute. All the characters are very simple, innocent, and I don't know. Just it mostly takes place in just the cafe, and yet the scenery and the world is portrayed very cutely. So it's about a cafe where it is a rumor that you can travel to the past. So it's just a multiple kind of short stories about people having a reason to go back to the past, and then something happens in the past or something doesn't happen. It's very it's all about people who have regrets, people who have doubts, people who have worries, and they end up going here to find answers, and instead of finding them, they find something completely different. But it's so cute. It's so cute. It's such a cute book. It's such a cute book. And there's also multiple parts which I have to read. But books are expensive. But yeah, I love it so much. Please read it. Please give it a shot. I'll read the backside as well. Sorry. Does it have it? Yeah, here it is. It's on the first page instead of the backside. In a small back alley in Tokyo, there's a cafe which has been serving carefully brewed coffee for more than 100 years. But this coffee shop offers its customers a unique experience, the chance to travel to the past. In Before the Coffee Gets Cold, we meet 4 visitors, each of whom is hoping to make use of the cafe's time-traveling offer in order to confront the lover who left them, receive a letter from their husband, whose memories has begun to fade, see their sister one last time, and meet the daughter they never got the chance to know. But the journey into the past does not come without risks. Customers must sit in a particular seat, they cannot leave the cafe, and finally they must return to the present. Before the coffee gets cold, they have to return before the coffee gets cold. That's where the title comes from. Yeah, I love it very, very much. I love it very, very much. Please give it a shot. So, to summarize, we had this very queer, lovable story with very colorful descriptions and characters. We have Circe, a mythology book, a very beautiful mythology book, which it's all about feminism, basically, which I love. I love these books. Feminism in mythology. So, yep, that's book 2. Book 3 was She Who Became the Sun. She Who Became the Sun, which is Chinese, old Chinese horror stuff about a girl becoming. It's basically Mulan meets Song of Achilles. That's basically the book. And I have 4. We have The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, about a Hollywood star who leads a very busy, weird life. I don't know. And 5th, we have Before the Coffee Gets Cold, a very cozy book about drinking coffee in a cool Tokyo cafe. And that's about it. 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 I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry for this very scuffed video. I only can make these videos whenever I'm home alone because my parents are very loud and I am only alone with probably for 10 minutes left or something. So I had to make it very scuffed. I didn't have any time to prepare. I didn't have time to make a script or something, or to re-record my broken sentences because my brain is just I don't like my brain. Yesterday I recorded another video which went very well. Like, just my thoughts were actually like I was actually